We talked no more of Christian Grey that evening, much to my relief. Once we've eaten, I'm able to sit at the dining table with Kate, and while she works on her article, I work on my essay on Tess of the D'Urbervilles. Damn, that woman was in the wrong place at the wrong time in the wrong century. By the time I finish, it's midnight, and Kate has long since gone to bed. I make my way to my room, exhausted, but pleased that I have accomplished so much for a Monday. I curl up in my white iron bed, wrap my mother's quilt around me, close my eyes, and I'm instantly asleep. That night I dream of dark places, cold white floors, and grey eyes. For the rest of the week I throw myself into my studies and my job at Clayton's. Kate is busy also, compiling her last edition of the student newspaper before she has to relinquish it to the new editor, while also cramming in for her finals. By Wednesday she is much better, and I no longer have to endure the sight of her pink flannel rabbit PJs. I call my mum in Georgia to check up on her, but also so she can wish me luck on my final exams. She proceeds to tell me about her latest venture into candle making. My mother is all about new business ventures. Fundamentally, she's bored and wants something to occupy her time, but she has the attention span of a goldfish. It'll be something new next week. She worries me. I hope she hasn't mortgaged the house to finance this latest scheme, and I hope Bob, her relatively new, much older husband, is keeping an eye on her now that I'm no longer there. He does seem a lot more grounded than husband number 3. How are things with you, Hannah? For a moment I hesitate, and I have Mum's full attention. I'm fine. Hannah, have you met someone? Wow. How does she do that? The excitement in her voice is palpable. No, Mum, it's nothing. You'll be the first to know if I do. Hannah, you really need to get out more. You worry me. Mum, I'm fine. How's Bob? As ever, distraction is the best policy. Later that evening I call Ray my stepdad, Mum's husband number 2, the man I consider my father, and the man I name I bear. It's a brief conversation. In fact, it's not so much a conversation as a one-sided series of grunts and response to my gentle coaxing. Ray is not a talker, but he's still alive. He's still watching soccer on TV and going bowling or fly fishing or making furniture when he's not. Ray is a skilled carpenter, and the reason I know the difference between a hawk and a handsaw. All seems well with him. Friday night, Kate and I are debating what to do with our evening. We want some time off from our studies, from our work, from our student newspapers. When the doorbell rings, standing on our doorstep is my good friend Jose, clutching a bottle of champagne. Jose, great to see you. I give him a quick hug. Come in. Jose is the first person I met when I arrived at WSU, looking as lost and lonely as I did. We recognised a kindred spirit in each other that day, and we've been friends ever since. Not only do we share a sense of humour, but we also discovered that Ray and Jose Sr. were in the same army unit together. As a result, our fathers have become very good friends. Jose is studying engineering and is the first in his family to make it to college. He's pretty damn bright, but his real passion is photography. Jose has a great eye for a good picture. I have news, he grins, his dark eyes twinkling. Don't tell me you've managed not to get kicked out for another week, I tease, and he scowls playfully at me. The Portland Palace Gallery is going to exhibit my photos next month. Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations. Delighted for him, I hug him. Kate beams at him too. Way to go, Jose. I should put this in the paper. Nothing like a last-minute editorial change on a Friday evening. Let's celebrate. I want you to come to the opening. Jose looks intently at me, and I flush. Both of you, of course, he adds, glancing nervously at Kate. Jose and I are good friends, but I know deep down he'd like to be more. He's cute and funny, but he's just not for me. He's more like the brother I never had. Catherine often teases me that I'm missing the need a boyfriend gene, but the truth is I just haven't met anyone who I'm attracted to. Even though part of me longs for a fabled trembling knees, heart in my mouth, butterflies in my belly moment, sometimes I wonder if there's something wrong with me. Perhaps I've spent too long in the company of my literary romantic heroes, and consequently my ideals and expectations are far too high. But in reality, nobody's ever made me feel like that. Until very recently. The unwelcome, still, small voice of my subconscious whispers, no. I banish the thought immediately. I am not going there. Not after that painful interview. Are you gay, Mr. Gray? I wince at the memory. I know I've dreamed about him most nights since then, but that's just the purge, the awful experience from my system, surely. I watched Jose open the bottle of champagne. He's tall and in his jeans and t-shirt. He's all shoulders and muscles, tan skin, dark hair, and burning dark eyes. Yes, Jose's pretty hot. But I think he's finally getting the message. We're just friends. The cork makes its loud pop and Jose looks up and smiles. Saturday at the store is a nightmare. We are besieged by do-it-yourselfers wanting to spruce up their homes. Mr. and Mrs. Clayton and John and Patrick, the two other part-timers, and I are besieged by customers. But there's a lull around lunchtime, and Mrs. Clayton asked me to check on some orders while I'm sitting behind the counter at the register, discreetly eating my bagel. I'm engrossed in the task, checking catalogue numbers against the items we need and the items we've ordered, eyes flicking from the order book to the computer screen and back as I make sure the entries match. Then for some reason I glance up and find myself locked in a bold grey gaze of Christian Grey, who's standing at the counter, staring at me. Heart failure. Miss Steele, what a pleasant surprise. His glaze is unwavering and intense. Holy crap, what the hell is he doing here? Looking all out of doorsy with tousled hair and his cream chunky knit sweater, jeans and walking boots. I think my mouth has popped open and I can't locate my brain. Mr. Gray, I whisper, because that's all I can manage. There's a ghost of a smile on his lips and his eyes are alight with humour, as if he's enjoying some private joke. I was in the area, he says, by way of explanation. I need to stock up on a few things. It's a pleasure to see you again, Miss Steele. His voice is warm and husky, like dark melted chocolate fudge caramel or something. I shake my head to gather my wits. My heart is pounding at a frantic tempo, and for some reason I'm blushing furiously. Under his steady scrutiny, I am utterly thrown by the sight of him standing before me. My memories of him did not do him justice. He's not merely good looking, he's the epitome of male beauty. Breathtaking, and he's here in Clayton's hardware store. Go figure. Finally, my cognitive functions are restored and reconnected with the rest of my body. Hannah, my name's Hannah, I mutter. What can I help you with, Mr. Gray? He smiles, and again it's like he's privy to some big secret. It is so disconcerting. Taking a deep breath, I put on my professional, I've worked in the shop for years facade, I can do this. There are a few items I need. To start with, I'd like some cable ties, he murmurs, his expression both cold and amused. Cable ties. We stock various lengths. Shall I show you? I mutter my soft voice and wavering. Get a grip, Steele. A slight frown mars Grace's rather loving brow. Please, lead the way, Miss Steele, he says. I try as I come out from behind the counter, but really I'm concentrating hard on not falling over my own feet. My legs are suddenly jello. I'm so glad I decided to wear my best jeans this morning. There with the electrical goods aisle. 8. My voice is a little too bright. I glance up at him and regret it almost immediately. Damn, he's handsome. After you, he murmurs, gesturing with his long-fingered, beautifully manicured hand. With my heart almost strangling me because it's in my throat, trying to escape from my mouth, I head down one of the aisles to the electrical section. Why is he in Portland? Why is he here at Clayton's? And from a very tiny part of my brain, probably located at the base of my medulla oblongata, near where my subconscious dwells, comes the thought. He's here to see you. No way. I dismiss it immediately. Why would this beautiful, powerful, urban man want to see me? The idea is preposterous, and I kick it out of my head. Are you in Portland on business, I ask, and my voice is too high. Think I've got my finger trapped in a door or something. Damn, try to be cool, Hannah. I was visiting the WSU division. I'm based in Vancouver. I'm currently funding some research there in the crop rotation and soil science, he says, as a matter of fact. Not here to find you at all, my subconscious sneers at me, loud, proud and pouty. I flash out my foolish, wayward thoughts. All parts of your Feed the World plan, I tease. Something like that, he acknowledged, and his lip quirked up in a half smile. He gazes at the selection of cable ties we stock at Clayton's. What on earth is he going to do with those? I cannot picture him as a do-it-yourselfer at all. His fingers trail across the various packages displayed, and for some inexplicable reason I have to look away. He bends and selects a packet. These will do, he says with his oh-so-secret smile. Is there anything else? I'd like some masking tape. Masking tape? Are you redecorating? The words are out before I can stop them. Surely he hires labourers or has staff to help him decorate. No, not redecorating, he says quickly, then smirks, and I have the uncanny feeling that he's laughing at me. Am I that funny? Funny looking? This way, I murmur, embarrassed. Masking tape is in the decorating aisle. I glance behind me as he follows. Have you worked here long? His voice is low, and he's gazing at me, concentrating hard. I blush politely. Why the hell do it have this effect on me? I feel like I'm 14 years old again. As always, an out of place, eyes front, still. 4 years, I mutter, as we reach our goal. To distract myself, I reach down and select the 2 whips of masking tape that we stock. I'll take that one, Grace says softly, pointing to the wider tape, which I pass to him. Our fingers brush very briefly, and the current is still there, zapping through me like I've touched an exposed wire. I gasp, involuntary. As I feed all the way down to somewhere dark and unexplored deep in my belly, desperately I scrabble around for my equilibrium. Anything else? My voice is husky and breathy. His eyes widen slightly. Some rope, I think. His voice mirrors mine, husky. This way. I dug my head down to hide my recurring blush and moved toward the aisle. What sort were you after? We have synthetic and natural rope, twine, cable cord. I altered his expression, his eyes darkening. Holy cow. I'll take 5 yards of the natural rope, please. Quickly, with trembling fingers, I measure out 5 yards against the ruler, aware that his hot gaze is on me. I dare not look at him. Geez, could I feel any more self-conscious? Taking my Stanley knife from the pack pocket of my jeans, I cut it and then coil it neatly before laying it in the slip knot. By some miracle, I managed not to remove a finger with my knife. "Were you a Girl Scout?" he asked, sensual lips curled in amusement. Don't look at his mouth. "Organised group activities aren't really my thing, Mr. Gray." He arches his brow. "What is your thing, Anastasia?" he asks, his voice soft and his secret smile is back. I gaze at him, unable to express myself. "I'm not shifting plates. Try to be cool, Hannah," my tortuous subconscious begs on bended knee. "Books," I whisper, but inside, my subconscious is screaming, You are my thing." I slap it down instantly, mortified that my psyche is having ideas way out of my league. "What kind of books?" He cocks his head to one side. Why is he so interested? "Oh, the usual, the classics, British literature mainly." He rubs his chin with his long index finger and thumb, and he contemplates my answer. Or perhaps he's just very bored and trying to hide it. "Anything else you need?" I have to get off this subject. Those fingers on that face are bejeweling. "I don't know. What else would you recommend?" "What would I recommend? I don't even know what you're doing." He nods, his eyes alive with wicked humour. I flush, and my gaze strays in his snug jeans. "Coveralls," I reply. I know I'm no longer screaming what's coming out of my mouth. He raises an eyebrow, amused yet again. "You wouldn't want to ruin your clothing," I gesture vaguely in the direction of his jeans. "I could always take them off," he smirks. I feel the colour in my cheeks rising again. Must be the colour of a communist manifesto. Stop talking now." "I'll take some coveralls. Heaven forbid I should ruin any clothing," he says dryly. I try to dismiss the unwelcome image of him without jeans. "Do you need anything else?" I squeak as I hand him the blue coveralls. He ignores my inquiry. "How's the article coming along?" He's finally asked me an easy question, away from all the innuendo and confusing double talk. A question I can answer. I gasp too tightly, with two hands as if I were in a life raft, and I go for honesty. "I'm not writing it. Catherine is, Miss Kavanagh. My roommate, she's the writer. She's very happy with it. She's the editor of the newspaper, and she was devastated that she couldn't do the interview in person. I feel like I've come up for air, at last, a normal topic of conversation. Her only concern is that she doesn't have any original photographs of you." "What sort of photographs does she want?" Okay, I haven't factored in this response. I shake my head because I just don't know. "Well, I'm around tomorrow. Perhaps you'd be willing to do a photo shoot." My voice is squeaky again. "Kate will be in 7th Heaven if I can pull this off, and you might see him again tomorrow." That dark place at the base of my brain whispers seductively at me. I dismiss the thought of all the silly, ridiculous. "Kate will be delighted if we can find a photographer. I'm so pleased." I smile at him broadly. His lips part like he's taking a sharp intake of breath, and he blinks. For a fraction of a second, it looks like somehow, and the earth shifts slightly on its axis, the technical plate sliding into a new position. Oh my, Christian Gray's looks hot. "Let me know about tomorrow." Reaching into his back pocket, he pulls out his wallet. "My card, it has my cell number on it. You'll need to call before 10 in the morning." "Okay." I grin at him. Kate is going to be thrilled. Hannah. has materialised at the other end of the aisle. He's Mr. Clayton's youngest brother. I'd heard he was home but I wasn't expecting to see him today. Excuse me for a moment, Mr. Gray. Gray frowns as I turn away from him. Paul has always been my buddy, and in the strange moment that I'm having with the rich, powerful, awesome, off-the-charts attractive control freak Gray, it's great to talk to someone who's normal. Paul hugs me hard, taking me by surprise. Hannah, hi, it's so good to see you, he gushes. Hello, Paul, how are you? You home for your brother's birthday? Yep. You're looking well, Hannah, really well. He grins as he examines me at arm's length. Then he realises he keeps a possessive arm draped over my shoulder. I shuffle from foot to foot, embarrassed. It's good to see you, Paul, but he's always been over familiar. When I glance up at Christian Grey, he's watching us like a hawk, his eyes hooded and speculative, his mouth a hard, impassive line. He's changed from a weirdly attentive customer to someone else, someone cold and someone distant.